Who knows if they're ever going to upload another Talk to It's been about a week.
Yeah, so after she got called out, she's like, all right, y'all, going to bed. And then just like, hasn't posted in a week after she got called out for the rug pull.
She's made her money. If I was her, I'd just be like, a peace out, never appear again. Like, you're good.
Fuck it.
Invest
yeah,
that money.
you got a couple million. You're done.
At a minimum, a couple million, too, is the thing. Like,
she'll be speaking at CPAC next year. Let's be real.
Oh my god, I hate that you're like probably correct.
That sounds right.
Yeah, I'm completely correct. Sorry,
isn't she? Isn't she also?
Horn, but let's be real.
Isn't she also Jewish? Is that right?
There was a thing going around briefly.
No, she's not. But a lot of people were Jew-investigating her.
Yeah, she was like on some interview and they were like, let's do a DNA test. We're going to do a DNA test live. And they found that she had like 1% or less of like Ashkenazi Jew origin or something like that. And a bunch of Nazis were like, see, this is why she's so famous. This is why it happened. It's because it's the Jews that are doing this.
Well, it's not even enough to have like
wrong.
Stomach problems. Like, fuck that. She's not.
They're not. And like in that interview too, another crazy part about it was like, after she had that, everyone in the room was like, and like, of course, this is like fine, but like Nazis held on to this where a bunch of the interviewers that were talking to her were like, yeah, now now it's a fully Jewish room. We're all Jews here too. And she was like, oh, amazing. And of course the Nazis were like, of course the Nazis clipped that and were like, see, it's a cabal.
Yeah, she's
the the Haley Welch Haktua cabal.
At least they're offering an explanation because I haven't gotten another one that really explains.
This is how Nazism.
So
it's true.
It's why Nazism catches hold. They offer explanations.
This is why I shouldn't be allowed on the internet because I can't scrutinize properly. Like I fully thought that she was like in the IDF. Like I just feel like I read that somewhere and I was like, well, sounds
you did.
to me.
You know, it's funny because you did. There was a right wing, like it was like a shitpost pretending that she was in the IDF. They like lied about her and made up this backstory about how she was in the IDF in Israel and had like dual citizenship. I know exactly what post you're talking about because it was incorrect and a lie.
Wow. Something to be said about right wing meme magic.
Rest in power, Haley.
Line to what we're talking about.
Meme magic. That's true. Wait, we're talking about meme magic today.
Yeah, we are talking about meme magic.
Meme magic. Yeah. Do we want to get into it?
Western Kabuki.
Welcome back to Western Kabuki. We are here today, solemnly gathering here today to honor those fallen warriors in the meme war of 2016. Today we are honoring those that came before us for the meme war of 2024 and the meme war of 2020. We honor those. Caleb, thank you for joining us here today in this hallowed time.
I am. Yeah, I lost a leg in the first meme war of 2016. I am a meme war veteran. I was the first Bernie bot battalion.
That whole battalion basically got wiped out. That's fucking crazy. got wiped out early. The Hillary Clinton
you were set up by the CIA. I'm not going to go into it.
Walked into a trap. It was horrible. Alex, welcome.
Every time I think of like meme magic and the meme wars of 2016, all I can think of is what's his name? Benny Johnson's smirking fucking face.
Oh yeah, friend of the show.
I'm glad we don't have to think about him too much anymore. I'm going to introduce our special guest, but I just do not want to forget this. I was on the bus the other day, like maybe a week ago now. And, you know, when you're on the bus, you look over at other people, like people are on their phones. You look over every once in a while. I was sitting next to this guy, probably early 20s, and he was on YouTube and he was just like scrolling the homepage feed. And I look over and I see a Benny Johnson post screenshot, like a community YouTube post screenshot of End Wokeness. And he clicked in, was going through the comments. I'm like, I am next to some based motherfucker right now. Holy shit. That was the first time I saw Benny Johnson's name in years. But with that, we have David Doel of the Rational National today. Thank you for joining us. Wait, did I get that right? Did I mix that up?
No, you got it. Yeah, some people say that the National Rational sometimes, but no, you got it.
Rational National. Alex, cut that part out. I was right. No need to doubt myself ever about anything. I'm always correct.
I feel like
thank you for joining us.
I feel like the more you talk about how you were right, the more I'm tempted to leave it in. If I'm being honest.
do what you please. But no, thank you for joining us today to talk about meme magic, the meme wars, the online space that once was and is today.
It is the only war that is not depressing to me to be able to talk about. Because one of the things about talking about news and politics all the time is like whenever a new war breaks out, it's like, fuck, I got to talk about this shit.
time to crack open Wikipedia and regional warfare. There's a lot of that lately. Yeah, and especially with Syria, because like, you know, that whole war, I haven't even barely cracked the surface on what's going on there now. I know Israel's kind of going into Syria.
Yeah, I read bits and pieces, but there's some things where it's like, you know what, I'll let the experts take care of this one. I don't need to read up on this just yet. Let this sit for a bit.
Yeah, no, you'll have your very like reasonable and smart takes later on. You won't see. The problem is people always embarrass themselves by posting too quickly. They got to have the first take, and sometimes you just have to like lay in wait. You have to find your moment, read up Wikipedia just a little bit more than anyone else.
Exactly.
Today we're primarily, I think, talking about the subreddit The Donald.
Yeah, an extension of our series on forum history, which has been a lot of fun to do. So let's go back in time to June 2015. What do you guys remember about the political landscape of June 2015 before everything changed, before the first meme war started?
I mean, I was pretty active politically at that time. I was watching the Young Turks. I was browsing Facebook. I was on Reddit. I was like in those generally like left-leaning spaces, but I wasn't like, it was early days. It was Bernie Sanders was just like, I think, coming on the scene at that point. And then it was kind of a shift away from, I don't want to say away from the Democratic Party, because there was always like a discontent with the Democratic Party.
The Bernie sticker on your laptop is what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't have it anymore, but I still have my really old computer I just replaced last year with the Run Bernie Run as a Democrat. That I think it was like 2015. Literally, you're not wrong about that. I used to, I should have taken that sticker off. But, it was like a shifting landscape where it felt like there was finally a leader for like the leftist cause. And the Donald, I think, was kind of on the scene, but if I remember correctly, it started as like a parody group, right? Is that like a folktale? Am I wrong about that?
Not really. So it started off it wasn't never intended. We'll get to this more in depth later, but it really kind of started off more as just a meme subreddit. It wasn't really, it was more like it because, nobody took Donald Trump at the time that it launched as a serious candidate. So
right.
It was just like a lightning in the bottle, shit posting. I listened to a couple different podcasts about former and current moderators of the Donald talking about their experiences. And I didn't know this, but this is a crass term, pardon me, but they called it 4chan with a condom. That's where that term comes from, was the Donald.
Okay.
So they wanted to disseminate these memes to the normies of the masses. And so that's where the Donald first kind of started.
Oh my God. I didn't realize that it was like that insidious that quickly.
Yeah. And again, we'll probably talk about, I don't know what chronologically how to fit this in, but I did listen to two different podcasts of different moderators from the Donald talking. And, they just basically said outright they wanted to use that subreddit as an attack vector to hit their political enemies, and they knew exactly what they were doing. So the reason that the Donald, I guess, really like kind of got to where it was actually very small at first. But they did, like we've talked about this in various forum history episodes, where the users will find a way to exploit algorithms. And what the Donald had done early on is they would sticky a post and instruct their users essentially to upvote that. And that would get, even though they were a relatively small community, that would get their post up to the front page of Reddit, the top of r all. They switched it to r popular later or whatever. But that's what they were doing. And they would, like, despite being a very small community, you could hear these guys talk about their tactics, where they would, like, every couple hours, they would sticky a new post, whether it was like a news article or what they would call a spicy meme. And they'd sticky it, and it would get to the front page of Reddit. And it worked really, really fucking well.
I mean, that was, still in the days where I'm sure you guys all remember. Yeah, like I didn't even think Donald Trump was going to manifest into anything. I don't think really anyone did.
My first video on YouTube was when Sarah Palin endorsed Donald Trump. And I thought it was just the most ridiculous combination of like two complete lunatics, that it was just like a thing to laugh at. But like, look at this, look at these crazy people. And of course, like I was a huge Bernie guy, but Bernie was my political awakening. So I was a huge Bernie guy at that time. And he also, like, he influenced me to eventually, I ran for the Green Party briefly in Canada. So that he had a massive influence on me. So I'm thinking, like, this is going to be like Bernie, like this has to be the Bernie awakening. People are going to wake up, realize this is the way to go. This is the future. And little did I know,
spark back then.
Yeah.